going to be making a 2-color melt and pour soap bar. Now melt and pour soap is a lot easier and a lot safer than lye soap, so anybody can make one of these. So you'll be needing a block of white glycerin, a block of translucent glycerin, 2 pans, one for each type of glycerin, a bottle of essential oil in your chosen scent, and a dropper to drop it in, a spray bottle, you can use any old spray bottle, and fill it with rubbing alcohol, a soap mold, and a sharp knife. And you want one that has a straight edge, because if you have one with a wavy edge, it doesn't cut as well. Now the soap mold and the soap base you can get from Glory Bee Foods. They have a website which is glorybfoods.com, and the nice thing about this soap base is that there's no SLS in it. So the first thing you're going to do is open up your bar of soap base, and you're going to cut out the necessary amount. This can be done with just any ordinary kitchen knife as long as it's a sharp one. You cut out an even amount out of both the opaque and the translucent. And then you'll cook your soap one at a time, starting with the translucent. You'll let that cook on low until it's completely melted. You want to just cover your pan to keep it nice and clean. And you can also melt it in your microwave if you have one. Now once your soap is completely melted, you want to add your coloring. There are a lot of store-bought dyes available, but the one I'm using is my homemade dandelion dye. So then you'll just add your dye until you get the color that you want, and just mix it in. So once you've got your coloring where you want it, as far as the shade, you'll want to add your essential oils. Now I found that it's best to add about 50 drops per pound of soap, unless it's a stronger one like eucalyptus, and then you'll want to use less, but I'm using lemon, so it's a lighter scent. Since I've got half a pound, I'm going to be adding 25 drops of the scent. So you just take a dropper full and drop it in the pot. And then just stir it all in. Then you'll just dump your soap into the mold so that it fills halfway up. Then you'll just take and spray the surface with alcohol, because that gets rid of any bubbles and the alcohol burns off with the heat. Gives you a nice smooth surface on the back of the bar. And so then you repeat the whole process with the opaque bar. Now you won't add any coloring to the white one, you'll just want to leave that white, but you will add your essential oil. And then mix that all in, of course. So now what you want to do is test your soap and make sure that it's hard enough that your finger doesn't go through it. And then you'll just want to spray it with a layer of rubbing alcohol. And what that will do is that'll allow the hot soap from the next layer to adhere to the bottom layer without peeling apart. So then you'll just very slowly pour your white soap on top of your clear glycerin layer. You want to make sure it's slow so that it's not too hot and doesn't melt the bottom layer. Fill the mold to the top. And then of course you'll just spray the top with a little more rubbing alcohol to give the bar a nice smooth surface. And so then you'll want to wait until your bar of soap is completely cooled before you try to take it out of the mold. So once your soap bar is cooled, you get it out by getting a little bit of air between the plastic and the soap. You do that by pulling on one side of the mold. What that does, it creates a little air pocket in there. And then you just push on the edges, and the air pocket will go all the way around the soap bar. Then it just pops right out. Now glycerin soap has a tendency to suck moisture out of the air, so it'll bubble up. So the way you can prevent that is by storing it in plastic wrap until you're ready to use it.